Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garmer, here with me, as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, it's time to go bananas for Donkey Kong Bananza. As I have been playing that this weekend, got plenty of thoughts. So that will be our major game we're talking about this week. Also, Nintendo's got some other things cooking, like the leads of the Legend of Zelda movie have been cast already. That Assassin's Creed Netflix show has apparently been greenlit. So has Fallout 5. That's also been greenlit, according to some reports. There's a Mortal Kombat movie trailer that we're going to talk about in just a second. And Ubisoft has finally greenlit that Subsidiary thing where it's supposed to have Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six all in one deal. We'll see how that impacts things for the rest of Ubisoft. So we got plenty of things to talk about, and we'll get into all those and more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right. Well, Mark, what about that? What'd you think about that Mortal Kombat 2 trailer?
Where was Cole? Everyone's favorite character.
Thank God they did not show.
I think he actually is.
Cole.
I saw someone respond that he actually is in it for like a second.
Okay, that's as long as he needs to be in it.
I think he might be the guy getting cut in half by Jade. Or we'll see.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it looks good. I still think it's weird that Liu Kang isn't the main character.
Yeah.
Like he's not in the trailer, and he kind of is like the main character of the game. Like same with like Ryu and Street Fighter, you know?
Yeah, it's like they had to have Cole be the main character for the first one, and then now this one, it's like a lot of. I mean, maybe it's just this trailer. It's just focusing a lot on Johnny Cage, obviously being played by Carl Urban, so they wanted to, like focus on that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. I assume we'll get the stupid dragon tattoo and then be able to chuck off green fireballs and do the shadow kick and all that crap.
Yeah.
I think it looks solid. Looks fun.
Yeah, I mean the first one was a good movie, and I mean if this can live up to that as well, then
my only hope, and I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be funny if, like, because Scorpion in the last movie was actually a good guy,
right?
And he'll probably be a good guy in this. But it'll be funny if, like, him and Johnny Cage are fighting together against, some evil, Shao Kahn, baddies or whatever. And Scorpion does the spear thing, because he did in the trailer that, get over here. And Johnny Cage just looks at him and goes, why do you do that with a different voice?
I love that.
Yeah. Like, where'd that come from? Like, but yeah, looks cool. Or, I don't think I'll see it in the theater, but I'll probably see it when it comes out on DVD or streaming or whatever. So
yeah. I saw it on when it hit the that's back when we
were hitting COVID. So it didn't
the day and date on HBO Max or whatever.
Right.
So that's where I saw it. But same for me. I probably won't see it in the theater, but
I mean, if it gets like shockingly good reviews, then I may go, see a matinee or something, but that'll be about it.
Does it already have a release date or no? Not yet.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think it may also be just as long as they're not coming out next to like some other movie that I want to.
October 24th is the release date, so only a few months away. I mean,
yeah, okay.
And yeah, it does look from the credits. It looks like the guy, Cole, is in the movie as well, but. I hope it shows he gets killed in like the first 5 minutes, and then it's all Johnny Cage.
Hopefully they've learned, from that for sure.
And I'm happy that Kano's back, or he was
Kano was great in the first movie. Loved him.
Yeah,
I agree there. All right. Well, we'll get into more movie talk in a little bit here, but since so we can go ahead and I guess just to kick off the show, let's do some housekeeping here. We do appreciate you whether you watch live or you listen later or you watch on demand. All of that helps. You can watch live on Mondays around 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel. Just look up WTM Network, subscribe, follow, ring that bell, all that. Anytime we do a show, it will be there for you, and then you can watch at your leisure later if you want to do that on demand. If you subscribe to the channel, not only do you get what we do here with video games, but if you do like movie talk and whatnot, we have a whole group of people that love talking about movies and TV shows. The Routledge and Broadcasting folks, they're doing their I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2025 version review right now. You can just go subscribe to them at Routledge and Broadcasting on the podcast side too, as you can with us. And listen later at your leisure if you like. And if you also like anime, the summer season of 2025 anime, which is absolutely jam-packed, just kicked off. Otaku Cafe did their first summer season anime show last week. I'm sure they'll have another one this week. So if you like to check out the seasonal stuff as it comes out, they do a great job reviewing that. Go check them out. Follow, subscribe, all that on the podcast side as well for them. And yeah. So that's it for the housekeeping here. I guess let's go ahead and kick it up. Let's not waste any more time here. Donkey Kong Bananza is the first major single player Switch 2 release.
Yep.
Obviously came out on Thursday, so I've had it since that Thursday morning. Got to play it starting Thursday. Played, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't play any today because work was just too crazy. But I don't really know how many of these, layers there are. So I really don't know exactly where I'm at. I know it's I've gotten to the third world, I guess you could say. And the game is just an absolute blast to play. I don't, if you're coming from the Donkey Kong 64 thinking of 3D, this blows that out of the water. This is definitely the Odyssey team at work doing some fantastic stuff. And that picture that's going around where it's a little bit of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Odyssey, a lot of Hulk's Ultimate Destruction, and some Kirby Forgotten Land all smashed together. Yeah, you could call that this game. A lot of Ultimate Destruction for sure. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said, yeah. I mean,
and that's to its benefit, right? Because I'm glad that they decided to go in a different direction. Don't just do the 2D platformers, but now it's 3D. Give us what you really kind of want with a Donkey Kong. He is kind of the Hulk of Nintendo. Let us just be able to blast through anything we want. And I love the fact that, yeah, there's things that gate you. The whole story hook is that you have that the Void Company or whatever that are kind of terrorizing the town, so to speak.
Right.
And they are doing their best to be annoying, and they gate things behind their purple mess or whatever that you have to use Pauline to sing. And I love the way they introduced Pauline here. Also, just it is the thing that they showed in the trailer. But I don't think she gets overly annoying. I do appreciate how they make her kind of like your partner, and she helps you out in finding the bananas and things like that, or just her singing is what causes the transformations. So and also even goes out to the gear that you can get, the different outfits and stuff that you get the fossils for. Pauline also gets outfits as well, so it does feel like you're a team, and I really thought that was cute. Like it's a nice showcase for DK to have a little bit of a heart there, you know.
Right.
I cared way more about the story than I thought I was going to, but honestly, like you'd think that you will get tired of breaking stuff, and you just don't. Like, I don't think I've ever played a game, and I'm not one that really likes to. It's weird that I have games where I really like to go exploring and stuff like that. Like Expedition 33 kind of helps with that because of the way that the gameplay is with the fighting system. You want to go and find the next like boss or the next thing that you haven't seen yet to see how they fight and whatnot. And obviously, you know, you can go and find different weapons and stuff out in the world if you go explore and things like that. But a lot of times in these games like that, I'm going to go from main point to main point. And I'm not big on just, let me just play around here and be here for 3 hours. And legitimately, that first time I don't know how many times I picked up the game, I will literally just, as I'm going towards wherever the waypoint is, I'm smashing stuff. I'm just breaking the whole ground open. I'm busting up the rocks next to it. Yeah, a lot of it is you're just getting the same gold thing over and over, and that does help you because that allows you to have the currency to be able to, get other things or whatever. But the main currency that is these like banana chips, and then also the fossils, which get the outfits, and then obviously the bananium gems that get you the skill points that DK has. And he does have like a skill tree that you can go through, and it's pretty simple stuff, charge up it, make his punches stronger. The don't have to wait so long to fill up the meter for the transformations. He has some cool moves that he can do. Aside from like the traditional like slap on the ground and stuff like that. And the slap on the ground has like a sonar thing that allows you to find the bananas and the fossils and stuff too, which that's great because you'll legitimately just, if it wasn't for these maps that kind of appear when you're smashing, and that's another reason too, like you'll want to go and bust open these chests that have the mats with the fossils of the bananas, so you can go and find them easier and just find them on your map and go and look for them instead of just going and like doing it blindly, which you can find things that way, and that's fun. Like I don't know how many times I've had fun just literally you can use one button to smash the ground and he'll go underground, and then you can keep smashing and basically making a tunnel underground, and then you make your own tunnel to go up to where you just were, and you can make it all connect. And I've literally made like all underground tunnels sometimes just doing that, randomly, just having fun doing that. So I haven't played the co-op thing yet. I've heard it's fine, where you're using Pauline as like, she sings out words and that kind of destroys things too. So you're both kind of getting have fun with the smashing stuff. The music in here is great. They play the DK rap when you make a little like outhouse kind of thing for yourself.
That's the important thing.
And then when you sleep, you hear the Donkey Kong Country like main theme also. So that's fun. Yeah, man, just really been enjoying this game. And I that's coming from somebody that didn't, I wasn't super confident about it going in until they showed that direct, that kind of gave you more of the breakdown of what's going to be in there.
Right.
But even then, you still wonder, like, okay, all they keep showing is, the Donkey Kong breaking stuff. And it's like, is that going to hold me for the whole game? And yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a lot more to go, but it's that whole thing of like, yeah, it's a collectathon. And I understand 64 was a collectathon too, but it's like, the way they do it is there's always something. There's these little hidden secret, like mini areas that you can go into, and they'll change up from being just, beat up these enemies to, oh no, you have to like do a puzzle and figure out how you're going to get the bananas. And There's like 2 or 3 of them in here, and you gotta find them all. And it's a certain amount of time. There's ones where you have to just like destroy things in a certain order. Like they change it up, and I appreciate that. Like they definitely do make it to where anytime you feel like you're going to kind of okay, I'm done with it. And I've seen people, and I feel like I never know if they're really like trolling. I've seen people just like, oh man, I can't with this. You're doing is breaking things and whatever. Like that's not fun. And I mean, to each their own and all that. If you paid $70 and you didn't really kind of look into what it was, you know, it is what it is.
It worked for Red Faction.
Yeah, but you know, I definitely do. I'm not there yet. Like it's definitely like up there. Probably like my number, 2 or 3 game right now. It's not beating Expedition 33 for me right now, but I'm enjoying it that much. I do believe it that that game of the year hype is fair. Because I've heard that apparently it gets harder, as you go later into the levels, which I know a lot of people are complaining about, like, oh well, it's not really that hard, it's like it's not challenging. It's like, well, Mario Odyssey really wasn't that challenging either. It was more about, okay, you complete the game and then you can get into the challenging stuff if you want.
Yeah, it's more about like the experience, or like most Nintendo games aren't super hard, or so.
Yeah, but it's not like the Princess Peach game either. Like, so like there are some of those like little mini game challenges that are kind of difficult, or you do kind of have to like rack your brain a little bit and find out how or where you're going with that. What you need to hit or break to be able to get to where that banana is or whatever. And I love that it just kind of like throws you out there too. It doesn't just go outside of the initial section where it's kind of telling you, okay, you need to do this to punch up or punch down or whatever. It doesn't just hold your hand all the time. And I do appreciate that too. It kind of lets you figure things out as you go. And for being a Nintendo game, they don't always do that. So, and that's appreciated too. So far, I'm really, really enjoying the game. I'll have more to like. Let's see if I can. It's my girlfriend's birthday on Friday, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to play this weekend. But I'll see how much I can play before I get to Friday, and then maybe we'll have more to talk about it for next week. But yeah, the hype is real for this one for sure. You've been playing anything?
No, just chipping away at Death Stranding some more, and a little more Red Dead Redemption 1. That's about it.
Anything
I got a game from Adam.
Oh, okay. You got a game? Can't talk
from
about
Adam,
it.
But no, I probably won't play. He always just like gives me codes for stuff that sometimes works out and sometimes doesn't. And I looked at this game. I'm like, yeah, this ain't my type of game.
So you're just like, all right, well, it's there.
Yeah, here's another game to add to my Steam collection that I'll never touch. Cause I think it's like a tower defense game, or it's like some like weird roguelite tower defense card thing, and it's like, oh god, there's one too many adjectives in this thing. So, but yeah, Death Stranding, keeping at that, and yeah, Red Dead Redemption 1 is still cool. And I'll probably pick up Donkey Kong. I may head up to Costco tomorrow, and if it's still on sale, I might grab it there. I think it's like $60 there. So.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Getting it for 60.
Yeah. Especially for a physical copy.
Yeah, no, that's nice. You're getting it for $10 off. Right. And you're not having to like trade anything in. It's just on sale.
Yeah. Because Costco KZ just has games for cheaper,
Sweet. I wonder if.
Yep.
I'm assuming Nintendo knows about that.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't renew their thing with Walmart. Like, because there's a lot of people that would just go to Walmart and get it physical just for the
Right.
$10 off.
I don't know how well that actually worked out for Walmart. Because like the reason Costco can do this is you have to pay to get into Costco, so that's how
Yeah,
they
true.
subsidize it. So, but I mean, I don't know about the WalMarts by you, but like the WalMarts by me are like becoming ghost towns for games. Like most of them ripped out the Switch 1 kiosk for like the Switch 2 one, and then they didn't bother to put in a Switch 2 kiosk. So it's just
Oh,
like this
wow,
weird,
really?
it's just like this weird empty space. Like I saw one that had it. And I'm like, wow, okay. But then most of them just have like a bare countertop or like this like weird, extension or like power strip with like like Nintendo branded AC adapter in it, and that's it. And it's like, did the guy just not come, or what's the Switch 2 has been out for a while,
like did y'all just decide at the last minute you didn't want it? Like,
right? Yeah,
that's crazy because a lot of the Walmarts had like big, advertisements
yeah,
for it even outside.
yeah.
So,
And I've still yet, I mean, we talked about this last week, but I've still yet to even see a Switch 2 in a store, like new or.
I think that says a lot about, and especially now with Donkey Kong. I think that's anybody that was kind of. I do think this could be the game that if you were on the fence about do I need the Switch 2,
Right.
I think this game could sell you.
Yeah.
Definitely on that. So, yeah, if you were doubting, I think you should. I mean, I do think the people that are like going to Best Buy and playing it for 5 minutes, I don't think this is a game that. This is not a game you play in 5 minutes and go, oh yeah,
Right.
I love it. Like this is a game that you kind of like gotta get past the opening section, kind of really be let loose, and then kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna explore, and now I'm gonna explore however I want, and that's when you kind of get into the fun.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
If I can get it, I'll try to play it at some point. Find crack open my Switch 2.
Yeah, there you go. Have your reason to finally open that thing up.
Right.
After,
2 months or a month and a half or whatever.
right. But all right, I guess that'll do for our what we're playing this week section here. Donkey Kong Bananza is a winner. See how much further I get till for next week.
You still got to finish Expedition 33.
I do, but now I've got this awesome game staring me in the face, so it's like it's hard. I don't have anything till Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to go look and see how long the Donkey Kong game is. That's the problem. I keep because I want to keep exploring and stuff. I'm not just mainlining the game, so I probably could be a lot further. Because I like the fact that it doesn't really it lets you open up the next area. Like eventually you'll get to the point. It's like not always like it ends with a boss, right? You just find the little key that unlocks it, and then here's the next layer, and then you don't necessarily. It doesn't go. Here, go down. It opens it for you, but it's not like it tells you. Okay, you got to go down right now. You can decide on your own if you want to go down right then, or you want to wait. And that's when it's happening. Okay, I've already got it open, so I'm just gonna go find other things, and then I'll probably spend another hour in there that I could have been progressing the story more, but I'm not. So, but all right, let's move on to some other Nintendo stuff, which. This one might be really old by the time you watch this or listen to this, especially if you're watching or listening tomorrow, because the 22nd is when we're going to have the Pokemon Presents. It will be one of the longer Pokemon Presents because it's going to be 24 minutes long. And they haven't had one that long since 2023, which had a 35-minute Pokemon Presents. So I'm sure we will have the traditional, Pokemon Unite, especially now with TCG Pocket doing its thing, and the other little ancillary things. They will promote that, but they definitely have a big game that they need to talk about here in Pokemon ZA. and maybe they will tease Generation 10 now that the Switch 2 is out, and next year is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. So let's see. Will we get Gen 10?
It'll be yet another remake of Pokemon Blue and Red.
Yeah, like
The
will they
30th
do like
anniversary.
leaf green this time or whatever, and red, and what's the next ones will be black and white, right? Those are the ones that are technically next on the docket if they're doing that. Hopefully that's not what it is. I still hear people wishing and hoping for Let's Go Johto, whichever version
Sure.
whichever Pokemons they use for those. Which if they can somehow figure out a way to do that with like including Legends Arceus or the ZA catching mechanic, and not the Pokemon Go, I got to use the actual like motion thing, then I'm good. It's just that got old after a while.
Right.
Where you're not battling and stuff. It's just like it's mainly catching and then just kind of going through it, and it's like, yeah.
Hey man, it's gotta catch them all, not gotta battle them all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Scarlet and Violet showed that apparently it still is a little bit there.
Right.
But yeah, let's see. Let's hope for some cool things. There's even going to be apparently a musical thing beforehand, like an hour before, like a music concert. So that's why they keep showing these images with like Pikachu with like a DJ looking setup or whatever. So we'll see what that's about, if they end up posting that on YouTube as well or whatnot. Speaking of movie news, Legend of Zelda has its two main leads with we know who's going to play Link and who's going to play Zelda. 16-year-old British actor Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, who was the voice of Pinocchio in that bad Disney live action version of it, the one with Tom Hanks. He's going to be Link, and then you have Bo Bragason is going to be Zelda. She's 21 years old, also English actress. She was on BBC One series Three Girls on the Jetty, and also the Disney Plus Renegade Nell, which I've seen neither one of those. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good for a few different reasons. One, it's not just Tom Holland and the one chick they kept suggesting it was going to be Zelda.
I don't think that was ever going to happen. I'm sorry. I know people wanted it, but Nintendo was never going to be controversial like that. So
I think it's good because, like, I always thought Zelda was like a little older. At least that's how they kind of always hinted at in the games.
Yeah.
It's not like Link is 15 and Zelda's 45 or anything, but like a few years older. And this actress doesn't look 21. I mean, she looks, 18, or she can be made to look younger. So, and yeah, should be good. Or, I hope it's good. Who do you think they get to play Ganondorf?
I think they might complete the triumvirate of having another unknown or whatever, just to have them all.
I got two suggestions. One is Paul Giamatti. That'd be pretty funny. And the other is, I don't know the guy's real name, or actual name, but Sheamus from WWE.
Sheamus would be hilarious, but I'm pretty sure he would get.
I think his name is like Early or something.
What's that movie where Paul Giamatti's? It's like a kids movie or whatever, and it wound up being like his most popular role, and he didn't expect it to be, or what? Or he like gets turned blue.
Well, I don't know.
It's like I can't remember the name of it right now, but yeah, that would be funny.
Big fat liar.
Yeah, big fat liar. That'd be cool. Nintendo's done a good job with picking the. Look at that whole Mario cast. We all kind of had our reservations,
Right.
especially with Chris Pratt as Mario, and that wound up working out. But obviously, you're not having to see them in live action; they're all animated, so
Right.
that kind of covers up for that a little bit. This is going to be
Although
interesting because you're seeing, yeah.
I still think Anya Taylor-Joy would have made a pretty kick-ass like live-action Princess Zelda or Princess Peach.
Well, I agree. I agree with that too.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be okay. It's weird because like it's kind of the same problem as Mario. Is like there's not a ton to hang a movie plot on.
At least Zelda has like a lot of lore. It's like very much like Mario. They have a lot of years, a lot of lore of things that they can pull from.
I'm only in favor of that if the first movie is just like place setting or like world building, and then they come out with like 3 other movies, and it's like, okay, this is the movie if Ganondorf didn't die. This is the movie that if Ganondorf did die, and this is like the third timeline movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's some parts of Legend of Zelda that get kind of weird.
Yeah,
So, and not just Majora's Mask either. Like, well, there's other games like, Phantom Hourglass gets weird, and
this is the one
Twilight
where he's on the
Princess even
train.
gets,
Yeah.
so it's like they got plenty of things to go on if they want to. It's just going to be interesting how they introduce this.
Right.
Do they make it like the simple, Link story and then kind of build it out? And like you said, and just, okay, this is the table setter. This is the basic one. And then after that,
I have to imagine this will be like a fairly, this may sound negative, but it's not meant to be. This will be like a fairly simple movie or like straightforward. But then like right at the end they'll discover that like this is a cycle that's been happening for, centuries, and there's always a man, always a princess, and always a master sword, and
right. The Triforce and all that.
Yeah, it'll just like the next one will just repeat the cycle, but it'll be like, oh, now we're in Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
this creepy moon.
If they really wanted to get crazy, they could do the Majora's Mask movie,
right?
Whatever.
That'll be the musical movie. But sure,
yeah,
hope the movie is good.
We're still like 2 years out from when this movie is supposed to take place, so
I hope the movie gets made. Like that's more than.
I'm not worried about it getting made. This is Miyamoto and everybody involved, and they need this because it's gonna not only help drive the game, but help drive. I'm sure Zelda will be the next like major addition to the
expansion.
Super Nintendo World thing,
right?
So
they announced a ton of stuff this week that we can get into later, but like. I was like, of the 3 entertainment stories they just announced like the day of, I'm like, none of these are actually going to happen.
Aside from Mortal Kombat 2, that's already pretty
much.
No,
I mean, I'm talking more like the Captain Planet movie.
Oh, God,
or the TV show.
Yeah.
Or Taika Waititi being attached to direct a Judge Dredd movie. I'm like, this ain't going to happen. Remember how great his Akira movie was?
Yeah, I could see the Judge Dredd happening just because,
I couldn't, because me and Ian talked about it, and it's like he's not a great fit for it, and also he has like a long line of being attached to crap that never happens, like a Star Wars movie, and
that's true,
some like Flash Gordon nonsense, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
and the wanting to bring back things that maybe you just need to keep where they are. Nintendo is also going to be doing a test, like an online test for not that thing that they did an online test for last year, and we kind of still don't really know what that game is.
Right.
It's supposed to be kind of like another edition of like Miiverse or something, but we don't really know. They're going to do one for Dragon Drive called Global Jam. And this is going to happen August 9th and 10th between, that would be 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And then also 8 to midnight Eastern. And and then you can do the time zones backwards for you: 3 to 7 Pacific, 5 to 9 Pacific, and then also 9 to 1 Pacific during the day on Sunday.
Right.
The game comes out August 14th, so that would be like basically the weekend before. And it is budget price. I didn't know it was $20 until like I was doing the news story for it. That actually doesn't. I'm a bit more interested in it now. I thought it was going to be either full price or they were going to at least charge like 40 or 50 for it.
Right.
But being 20, does it make you worry that there's not a lot to it? Or are you worried that that means that they don't have a lot of faith in it that they're charging $20?
I mean, it could be the second part, but I see it as more as like this is the introductory price, and we'll have a lot of add-ons that will cost money, so that's how
Yeah.
we'll get you.
Yeah, I wonder if Nintendo is going to add in like Nintendo things to it, like Nintendo characters. Are we going to get,
Right.
Nintendo skins added for certain characters? We did have the Mario 3-on-3 hoops for the DS that Square made, or
Yeah.
I don't know if Square made it or published it, but so it's Mario has some background basketball, and outside of that, I don't know who they could really have in there. Everybody else would kind of be awkward. Like, well, you're gonna have Samus shooting the basketball, or
Why not? She has a cannon for an arm.
or Link's gonna be slashing at it or whatever.
Right.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's not. If you wanted to do a test for it, you could pay your $4 for that month of August if you don't have Switch Online, and test out the game and see if you like it. It is online. It's a multiplayer online game, so it's good for that.
Yeah.
Also, as we have seen already take place with some other games like the Raidu Remastered, and I can't remember which other ones are like this. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake will not have a Switch 2 upgrade pass, so you're not going to be able to buy the Switch 1 version and pay $10 and upgrade to the Switch 2 version. You have to decide that you want to buy the Switch 2 version and play that. Or, if you buy the Switch 1 version, just know you're not going to have the better graphics if you ever get a Switch 2. It's just going to play maybe with like some up-res or something.
Right.
When you play it with the Switch 2, but that's about it. So just be aware that game's coming out like October 24th, I think it is. Or both those games, I'm sorry. So, also the game key card thing, also that's what it's going to be for the Switch 2. Nintendo's even doing a thing with where they've asked at least the Japanese audience what they think about the game key card. Going to be interesting if Nintendo actually ever releases that information or not. It would be interesting if they ever do that for the US audience. What would they say about the game key cards?
I think most people aren't happy.
Yeah, no, definitely not. What do you make of the rumor about a Dragon Quest 7 remake happening, apparently?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have you ever played a ton of Dragon Quest?
Yeah, I have 7 on my 3DS. I played quite a bit of that, actually.
Okay.
But aside from 11 and when I played the 3 HD 2D, no, I had not. Before 11,
Right.
I had not played Dragon Quest really at all.
Yeah.
So
I think a franchise that's like, it's huge in Japan, but they keep trying to bring it over in America, and it barely makes a dent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did play 8.
Yeah, that was like that was kind of like the one that like I remember it. That's like the PS2 one, I think.
Yeah, that's the first one that was actually called Dragon Quest here. It was all Dragon Warrior before that. 7 is really kind of obtuse as well. And that game can get kind of hard. And it's also really long.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting how they remake that. They would have to actually remake it. They can't just HD 2D the thing. Because
all right.
Because it's almost kind of like Suikoden in a way. Like they have the sprite characters, but they have the 3D kind of ish world behind them.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see if that actually happens, and if they're. My only issue is that I get that Square is really trying to do the quality over quantity thing. But we don't even have playable versions of 4 through 6
right
on Switch or any of the modern consoles. So I don't know, why don't we get to that before I get the Dragon Quest is not Final Fantasy, but if Final Fantasy can have all the classics or whatever, can't we do that with Dragon Quest 4 through 6? And then if you want to introduce 7 with a remake, then go for it,
Yeah, just put out Dragon Quest 1 through 6 on one cartridge and call it the pixel perfect,
Yeah, that. Well, I mean, if they've already gone through the whole deal of HD 2Ding 1 through 3, I mean, obviously, I think they 1 and 2 have to sell well for that to happen. I think as well. But if it sells well as 3, then you're pretty good there. But it's just with how long it took for Tactics to come out, and then that's all it is like a kind of a spruced up looking version of the original version. After
they didn't it's not like a Final Fantasy VII remake.
I wasn't expecting that either, but I was expecting in some ways, a lot of people think that the graphics look worse.
Yeah.
The new version. So, for that thing to be so, I wonder how long in development it actually is. For that's all they kind of did with it, and then depending on who you read or whatever, the 9 remake is in trouble and don't know if it's actually still happening or not. And then you're gonna start another one, and you Dragon Quest 12 is in development hell supposedly. So I don't know. Even 1-2 HD 2D got delayed silently without anybody saying anything, because that game was supposed to come out early this year. Those games were and they just magically announced that it's oh, these are October releases.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I get the Square's not doing amazingly hot as far as with their sales that they want, but I don't know. I don't know that we need to just keep going to that well constantly either.
Right.
I think that's it for the Nintendo stuff here. The Subnautica saga continues. More stuff on this. Now the 3 main team leads are taking Krafton to court over the delaying of the game to 2026 and firing them because essentially they're claiming the same thing that we talked about last week, where they're delaying the game on purpose so that there's no way they can hit the bonuses needed to get that $250 million payout.
Right.
Krafton is saying that they're looking forward to having their day in court, that they're doing everything for the best decision of the game. I forgot this game's supposed to be Game Pass as well. And it's just a weird saga of
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. I still believe the developer is not.
I agree. I could totally see Krafton not wanting. I mean, who wants to pay that? Honestly, let's be real.
And
also, that's a lot of money.
Well, that, and also it's bananas that the bonus was signed in the first place, and it's kind of extra crazy to think about because Krafton paid, I think, $500 million or $500 million for Unknown, whatever the hell the studio is called.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. The name of the studio, the
Yeah, the
Unknown
Subnautica.
Worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Unknown Worlds. And it's like, yo, like a decade ago, or 10 or 15 years ago, Sony only paid like $93 million for Naughty Dog, or not Naughty Dog, Insomniac. That was it.
yeah,
And it's like, which one of these? I mean, you can adjust inflation, but it's still not going to be $400 million extra. But which one of these do you think is the more fruitful and better investment?
yeah. I mean, but I do kind of believe the devs in that. If they put this game out in early access, I bet it would do really well. I bet they could hit whatever the metric is for them to hit that 250 million. So,
The
yeah,
metric is you have to sell $245 million worth of copies of this game.
yeah. It's got to be a decent. It's got to be a decent, but also like believable number for them to
Right.
really believe that. Because I think if they knew they weren't going to hit it anyway, I don't think they'd
If
be
that's the
fighting
case,
about
then
this.
they just start buying copies of their game and shipping them out to people, or gifting them to people.
Yeah,
It's like if you got to sell if you have to sell 100,000 copies of this game to make the $250 million bonus, it's like, okay, who wants one? I'll pay for it right now out of my own money because invest. I'll get that money back 20 times over or whatever.
right.
But
Yeah, it's just this thing that like I wonder how is something else going to come out about this next week too? It sucks
right,
because look, there's 100 employees here that could really do with getting some of that money. This isn't all going to the three figureheads. This is
right,
to go to the whole staff, which that's kind of what sucks. It's like, look, I know that Krafton hasn't necessarily had the best of times or whatever. They have that the Callisto Protocol studio that
yeah.
it didn't do well,
That
and then the next game after that they didn't do well either.
that went well, yeah. Like they
Uh,
have a string of hits, but it's like, what do you expect? Or like,
Yeah, I mean they bought the Hi-Fi Rush studio, kept them kept them around. We'll see if Hi-Fi Rush 2 ever comes out
or
uh,
yeah, whatever else they're gonna be making.
yeah, it's like this is just kind of seems it doesn't look good for Krafton. I mean, I wonder how they're going to be able to kind of spin this in
Right,
court that they supposedly say that they have the things that show that basically the figureheads are kind of like making up numbers here, but you know, we'll see how that goes. It's
yeah,
probably going to be a long way before this is decided at all. But yeah, not great. In this whole continuing thing that continues to happen with developers and losing jobs and kind of getting the short end of the stick. This is like another one of those, unfortunately.
right.
Moving on to the
I'm,
Xbox side of things. Oh, sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say on the Microsoft.
Yeah, on the Microsoft that also keeps doing this to their developers as well. Even though I guess for now there's some decent news about it, but it feels like kind of inevitable that it's going to go back to being bad news. But I guess to focus on some good news for now, the Xbox Game Pass games that are coming for the rest of this month have been revealed. RoboCop Rogue City is part of that. We were just talking about that the other day. Grounded 2 comes out at towards the end of the month. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers comes out in a couple of days. That's that like Chinese Souls like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yen's is really excited for that game, and I'm just like, why? Like,
They apparently went during what was the last big not Summer Game Fest. They
right?
were with their chest out saying that they're gonna give Bloodborne a run for their money, supposedly.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So that's high praise for yourself. for you to say that. Descenders Next, which is the sequel to the Descenders game from the No More Robots team. That's one of the people that have always defended Game Pass. They just shadow dropped their game today. So that is out on Game Pass now. High on Life is back on Game Pass. It feels like Game Pass is now doing this strategy just like, with RoboCop, where it's like, oh, they're about to have their second game out.
Right.
So why not put the previous game on Game Pass so that even if the next game is not on Game Pass, you're getting people excited.
Yeah, it gives incentive for people to play it and go like, oh, I played like the first one. I'll give the second one a shot.
I think that's actually a good idea for Xbox in that way. If you're, kind of cutting back on the bigger games, bring back some games that people actually liked. Like they brought back the Ascent this month as well. I don't know if the Ascent's going to have any more content or whatever, but they brought that back. Like why not?
Yeah.
My Friendly Neighborhood is already out. That's like a multiplayer game that's gotten some good buzz recently. Abiotic Factor is a day one multiplayer game that's also coming to PS Plus. Wheel World is the next Annapurna thing that you're in that world where everybody's on a bicycle and kind of exploring and that kind of thing. That I'm kind of been interested in that since they announced it. So that's coming July 23rd. And then Wuchang Fallen Feathers comes out the next day. Grounded is the 29th. Then Farming Simulator 25. That game that everybody always wants.
Yep.
It comes out August 1st. Hey, some good stuff on Game Pass for the tail end of this month here. So
it's really surprising that Farming Simulator hasn't tried to do like a deal with like Clarkson's Farm or because they do DLC with that game. Do like he's done game stuff before with like Forza, and they did like a Grand Tour game that was terrible. So it's like, make a map of his farm and then have him do voiceover for it, or Caleb do it as well, and go from there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't I agree with like something that kind of gets them more notoriety
Buzz.
on that.
Or
but I mean, to be fair, we say that, but then that game always sells well,
right?
And you're kind of going like, who the hell buys this game?
Right. People, people have plane rigs, for like dogfighting sims.
Yeah.
People have like farming rigs for Farming Simulator in their basement.
That's true. You never know, honestly. You could be right about that. Also, Xbox is adding some things to the like the Insider program, mainly for the PC app. So they're continuing to do the whole putting things on as I get attacked by killer mosquitoes here. So we have the mosquitoes here where it's like they don't play no games, man. They just attack you. I can't walk my dog at any point because they will just attack you. And it's like I'm sitting here having to literally smack my neck or whatever, and I just see blood come out of my hand. I'm just like, all right, man, this is not great.
That's what happens when you live in a swamp, or
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, what they're adding is essentially like the PC app will now have the stream your own games thing. So any games that you own, that are in that program, you can play them on your PC now. That's along with the aggregator thing that they added not too long ago, and then also the play history will now go across everything and into the PC app as well. So if you played on your console or played on cloud or played on the phone, and then you want to go to your PC, it'll show all of that, and you could just pick it up from there. It's just more of that integration stuff that they keep talking about as they get closer and closer to the handheld coming out. Which we'll see if that is going to sell at all, because Asus themselves apparently thanks to a Spanish website, Tres de Juegos. The prices may have been leaked. Now this is in euros, so it may not equal out the same. But doing the conversion, the Asus ROG Xbox Ally is $700, which is way more than anywhere from 700 to 800. Way more than I think a lot of people thought. They thought that would be down to like 500. And the Xbox Ally X, the ROG Xbox Ally X, is $1,050.
You could get like
yeah,
a decent, not top of the line or anything, but you get a decent gaming laptop for that price. This is
I mean, you could also get a Switch 2 and a PlayStation 5 for that
right.
price. So, I
Or
mean,
a Switch 2 and a Steam Deck, you know?
exactly, yeah. So they definitely are not subsidizing anything here. It kind of goes with the Xbox Series X and Series S increases, right? Like they jumped the gun on the whole, oh man, the tariffs and inflation thing and jacked the prices of the consoles in a climate where nobody's buying your console, and kind of just left it at, well, all right, we're cool with however many people have already bought it. I guess if you want to still have a console, it's there. It's just more expensive now.
Right.
They're just not going to lose money on it anymore. And PlayStation's kind of at that point in other regions. You could say they did that with the PS5 Pro, but that's also like an optional version of the console. You don't have to own that. You can still play every game on the PS5. And yeah, this is optional too, right? You don't have to have the handheld. It's very much a, if you got the money and you want to use it to buy this, then do it. But I don't know. It doesn't, like if I see it in a store, which this is the whole point of this, right? Like you're going to put this in the store with the Xbox logo and everything. And you're going to, I don't know, if somebody sees that sticker price, they're going to go, I don't know about that. You know? Even with the buy now, pay later stuff like Affirm and that's still, we're looking at what, like $90 a month? That's not nothing. So yeah, that's, if anything, I think they might just be like, this is definitely just okay. I know the Asus like normal ones were already expensive, but not this expensive. So, but obviously you're getting better graphics and things like that than the
and
ones
it
that
has
are
its own
currently on the market.
dedicated Xbox button. I mean, what more could you want?
Well, it does have the OS and all that. So, but you know, just to have that OS, it's definitely not worth the $1,000 or
right.
whatnot. Speaking of options, you will no longer have the option to buy movies or TV shows from the Windows store on the PC or the Xbox, as that has been removed randomly on July 18th. You still have access to whatever you bought already on it, but
not randomly. I mean, how you got to wonder how popular or how profitable was that?
No, definitely this is, people are not using this thing.
Right.
Much. I mean, I know that there were people that all of a sudden, you know, now that this is out there and this is the internet, you got people that, I saw someone that says they have like 400 different movies and TV shows because they use that thing to buy movies and TV shows on it. Cool. Okay. You still have access to those. Now, obviously, who knows how long. I would definitely find another way to like download those to something.
What I'm sure they'll do is they'll migrate it all to Amazon or, you know, Movies
like
Anywhere.
The Movies Anywhere. That's how I have any of my, when I did have DVDs and Blu-rays, any of the digital codes or whatever, they're all through Movies Anywhere.
Yeah.
And then they'll show up on my Prime Video whenever I'm on there.
I mean, I have like 5 or 6 TV shows, like seasons of shows through that thing, but it's all like like Naruto season 1 or
Yeah.
Black Clover season 1. It's all like the weird cheap shit I got for like $1 or something, or it was just like free randomly.
Yeah. It's just interesting that, the Xbox One was all TV.
Right.
And all these years later,
Well,
now we are.
I mean, it was, but I mean, this stuff mainly happened with like the 360. That's what I remember. Like most of the stuff kind of coming,
Yeah, because with the 360, those were especially the 360 now. That maybe so with the PS4 and Xbox One, but less to an extent because by then you had smart TVs. But for 360, man, that was my multimedia box.
Right.
That was how I watched Netflix and how I watched all the apps. Was through my 360 for a long time.
The Wii. The Netflix disc?
No, I did not have the Netflix disc.
Right.
Yeah,
I like it. This is kind of like, a vestige of the 360, lineage or history, but yeah, one that's not supported anymore. And like, I think Sony can get away with this a lot. I mean, they still sell TV shows and shit on Sony, but like,
well, they made that as part of a perk for PS Plus Premium or whatever.
Right.
You get the Sony movie stuff.
But also, like, yeah, Sony makes movies and TV shows, right. So that helps.
They have their own movie studio,
right?
So, I mean, yeah, exactly. It makes sense on that front. Whereas Microsoft, doesn't really. They allow their license to be kind of licensed out, like with the Minecraft movie and all that. But they don't like have their own studios like a so this isn't agreed. Doesn't make sense. It's just a way to kind of like, okay, let's not waste any more money on this and slowly end it. Which it was originally the Zune store. We know what happened with that.
All right. I love the Zune.
Right. Zenimax Online, their devs had not been laid off yet, according to a post on the official ZOS United Blue Sky account. It kind of feels more like inevitable and not that they're not going to eventually be laid off. It's just, yeah.
They have to train their AI to do their jobs and then they get laid off.
Don't say that. That's terrible.
That's a news story. So
I know. I'm just saying, I think it's different when we're talking about like a mobile game compared to, like a full-fledged thing.
Believe me, Microsoft doesn't see it that way.
Oh no, I know they don't, but obviously that's the they have that whole program that they unveiled that was their whole deal. They want to be able to make like full-on games with that thing.
Yeah.
But it sucks again. Like this is not great to hear. It just seems like they're kind of like working out the severance packages and all of the logistical things with the union.
Yeah.
And then eventually you will get the actual number of people that are laid off from the studio and all that stuff eventually, which whatever. Look, we talked about it already. It's just
1,000 more people.
Yeah, especially when you have look, now this has not been officially, this is not Microsoft officially saying this. This is Jez Corden speculating and insider gaming reporting and all of that kind of stuff. But it doesn't surprise at all that they would have also bumped this up. And apparently, the whole greenlighting Fallout 5 was already kind of done independently of this.
Right.
It's just that there are discussions that one of the reasons why the MMO was canceled was so that they could kind of free up developers to work on Fallout 5.
Right.
We don't even know what studio is working on it. It's just that Bethesda Game Studio has greenlit it, apparently. I saw, I think, Defining Dukes guys talking about maybe that they're going to make their own studio similar to like Halo Studios, and that their whole thing is going to be working on Fallout games. Maybe I could see that, honestly. Just because Fallout is such a big franchise now, especially if that TV show continues to do big numbers, it will just obviously increase the priority of that series even more, because we saw what happened last time, right? That series got big and people just went and bought the old games, and imagine if they would have had a new game,
right?
So it only like behooves them to have. It's crazy to think at one point Todd Howard was saying, "Nah, there's no way. We're getting Elder Scrolls 6 first, and then we're working on Fallout 5." But he also did say, like, by then he probably wasn't going to work on Fallout 5 because we're talking about what, 2030 by the time we get Fallout 5. So, you know, what do you think? Like, one, do you think it's happening? And two, do you think that there's a studio that could be doing it? Like,
I think it could happen. I think the problem is, like, I don't think when they have a dedicated studio just making like one game or dedicated to one franchise that works out well. Look at 343.
I think that's a little bit different, just because 343 kind of like, you know, it's not like they took a bunch of Bungie people and put them into 343. That's just like another studio that they kind of just got put into it, right? Like, there's studios that make the same game over and over every year, and it works out fine. I agree with you that you got to be kind of have tepid reactions on that, but if they have the right people,
I mean, that's a big question. That's a big if, though. Like, and like you know, like we said recently, like, what sane developer or sane person would want to work for Microsoft at this point?
Well, it would have to be people that are already there, right?
Yeah, but you know,
and I don't think Obsidian would. Like, I do think that even if Microsoft went and said this is greenlit, I do think that like Todd Howard still has some kind of autonomy to be able to decide, like, no, I don't want that studio working on it, or I don't think they would be a good fit, or, you know,
they'll get Double Fine to work on it instead.
Like, I mean, he has shown that maybe his best role right now is to just be a supervisor, like with Indiana Jones, and not be like directly involved, because, you know, it's not like Starfield was.
Yeah, amazing. Him as like creative mind or creative guy it's never quite worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think him as like, you know, big man in charge is slightly better. But I don't know, like, I would say Fallout is kind of their golden goose, but
yeah,
you know, how much are they going to try to, you know, bleed it dry? And I still think that like Elder Scrolls 6 will happen first.
Oh no, definitely. I think the Elder Scrolls is still going to happen first. That's like further along, and you know,
they have a title screen.
They need that to happen, just because I think that they, even though you know, you did just have the Oblivion 4 remaster and all that stuff, it would be good for them to have that next game out and be able to really get the most you can of that, and you know where that's going for a while.
Have Elder Scrolls 6 come out, be in every platform, sell, you know, 30 million copies, and then
exactly you got money to go fund the next thing, or
prevent any layoffs at Bethesda for a little while.
You say that.
I'm not kidding. Like,
well, I'm just saying you say that, but we don't know, because even though, yes, they were a different part of Virtuos got hit with 270 layoffs themselves, and they just, even though only 10 of them affected the actual ESO Oblivion remaster devs, you know, that game didn't make, you know, chump change. It's one of the highest, not only highest rated, but highest selling games of the year. Now, to be fair, they have studios in other countries, and this is mainly the ones that were affected. The Singapore-based studio, laid off like about 7% of the company's global staff, with 200 people let go across Asia, which that's interesting. Does that affect any of the ones that were working on the Metal Gear Solid Delta remaster, or is that kind of done because that comes out next month? Or and then 70 were in Europe. So yeah, still not great. That's 270 people losing their jobs.
Right.
They are giving them like severance packages and all the, letting them possibly get other positions within the company and things like that. At least they're not giving you the stupid spiel that Phil Spencer did, where it's like we're never doing much better. We couldn't have done that. We're doing great now. I hope you know that. Well, y'all are not out of a job.
Right.
But still, it's just weird. It's weird again that like Virtuos themselves have like a lot of good projects. You imagine Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta is going to sell well, and we already saw what Oblivion Remaster did, and it's like that wasn't enough not to lay people off. Okay,
I don't know if I quite agree that Delta will sell well. I think it'll sell okay, but Kojima not being involved, like that's still a very public mess.
Do they have
And
numbers on that Metal Gear Solid like collection?
Yeah.
How well that sold?
I mean, but that's still like just old games, that they didn't do anything with really. So I mean, I look at Delta as kind of like a whole new thing, or like imagine 7, the remake of 7 with no Nomura.
Yeah, and it's apparently sold like over 1 million.
Yeah.
Now or something around that. But that's what, like a $60 package for, like you said, a bunch of
5
games.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it looks really good.
Right. I like it. I'm interested in it, but I just don't. I don't think it'll be like this huge thing. Let's say.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It will be for like that month of August, but I don't know that we're going to be talking about at the end of the year. Is like, oh my god, look at the impact that remake had on.
Look how I was just thinking about. Look how well Metal Gear Survive did.
God. But I mean, honestly, I don't know that we thought that like Oblivion Remaster was going to be like that huge impact either. And then look what it did.
I kind of did, because I just, Oblivion is such a nostalgia thing for so many people that, if you like, my downstairs neighbor played it, and
oh really? Okay.
she's not she's like maybe a few years younger, but like she loves Skyrim. And
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like, yeah, okay, here's basically another game that plays more or less the same as Skyrim, that looks better. That
it came before Skyrim. You can see where they made the
evolution, or So I was really surprised. She hasn't. I think she bought it, but like she has bought her like boyfriend's gaming laptop, and it didn't play it well.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, it's not surprising. Like, this laptop's also old, so
right. Yeah, it's got to have at least a pretty good laptop or PC for that. Speaking of, you mentioned them here, the staff that have been laid off at King, of course, they make Candy Crush. They are being replaced by AI, according to mobilegamer.biz.
Yep.
So essentially, many of the level and UX designers, plus practically half of the London-based Farm Heroes Saga team, have also been told they're at risk. And that essentially they took all of their, the stuff that they used to make the levels in the game and all that, and said, oh, we're just going to put that into an algorithm now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the problem with AI, or one of the problems. It's like, okay, now you don't have any people working at this thing. Creativity is probably going to take a nosedive. And then what
Oh
are
yeah.
those people supposed to do? Or, you know, like if AI is going to replace all gaming jobs, it's like, okay, now you have a bunch of people that can't get employed or can't get work.
I don't know that it will replace all gaming jobs, but it will, yeah, significant amount for sure.
Right.
And like you said, it's gonna be eventually it's gonna get to the point where, you know, people are really gonna have to speak out against it, and
It's kind of like like George Jetson, you know, the Jetsons. He shows up at work one day to press a button, and then all this shit happens, and he just goes,
yeah,
he goes home. You know, my work is done.
right. It's like I'm here just to make sure that I didn't wake up and the next day and the game is just gone to hell or whatever. Like, I no, definitely don't want to get it to that point because the large part of all
And
the
I
things
think
that we're
like
seeing about game development is like the creative process is the best part.
right,
You know?
and I don't think like all AI is bad in this. Like Speed Tree, for example, it's not an AI tool per se, but it's like, you know, procedurally generating for trees and forests and foliage and shit like that. Like that's I wouldn't say necessary, but that's a beneficial tool. But Speed Tree ain't making a game, or it's not putting out hundreds, if not thousands, of people of, you know, work either.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're already using AI in a lot of things. Like, I know
Right.
my job in I don't know 5-10 years.
Right.
More and more every time I turn around, there's somebody wants something done with AI. Like we even have AI tools that we have to present to clients in order to perhaps keep them around because there's a lot more people that are willing to like other companies that do the same thing that the company I work
Right.
for does. Even though we're like one of the biggest ones, there's people that are willing to offer them better rates because a lot of this stuff's going to be done with AI,
Yeah.
and it's like, and we also are going to be, you know, that way we don't have to have that big of a staff of people either because a lot of that's going to be done with AI. And literally, I'll leave a message sometimes and you call and it's like literally AI prompts that walk you through the entire thing that you're going to leave for
Right.
the, you know, doctor or plumber or whoever to get the message. And I'm just like, wow, this is scary. Like this
Yeah.
could literally take my job, you know? And you know, I already see it when I go, like I said, when I go to Wendy's or McDonald's or whatever, you know, you're talking to the AI bot. And the only reason that the person gets on, which it does help them, right? They don't have to be sitting there in the window wasting their time being on a microphone talking. But eventually that's how it starts. And then eventually you get to like McDonald's where you got the robots in there actually doing the
Right.
cooking too. So you know, that's
Yeah.
not
It'd be like the only guy working at McDonald's is like the service technician. You
yeah,
know.
exactly. It's the only thing they can't get the robot to do is actually fix the thing when it breaks down. Um, and that's only a matter of time too. I wouldn't imagine.
Right.
So, look, I don't want to get to that world ever. I feel bad for Anaya and all the kids that are coming after us. Um, I mean, you already got the Waymo cars
Right.
that are replacing Uber in some states, and then you've already got essentially like the Waymo shuttles, like replacing bus drivers. They're starting that out already. So yeah, man, it's a lot of jobs going to start
Yeah.
heading
And well, yeah.
south.
What are those
Yeah,
people supposed to do then? You know.
exactly. And you're and then a lot of those people are at the point where it's like you're too old. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what job are you going to go and get a degree for that you're then going to be able to use because you have no experience in that job?
Yeah.
You know, it sucks. Um, and it sucks for these people at King that are seeing uh, their jobs be lost to this, and more gaming jobs will continue to be lost to this. In fact, Steam also reports that nearly 8,000 titles released on Steam now disclose generative AI usage compared to 1,000 a year ago. That's 7% of the total Steam library and 20% of all games released so far in 2025. Now, and then there's this is voluntary. So who knows how many other games, like, you know, what happened with the altars, right? Where they had like generative scripts
Right.
in there that they forgot to like scrub out at the end. And it's like, how many games use things like that? Now, I mean, most of that's helpful, right? It's not really taking away people's jobs, but you know,
I mean, I see
yeah,
AI can be useful as a temp thing, but not in a shipping game.
yeah. I mean, like, it's crazy, like, to think about, like, when I was going through college, there's there's people graduating now that legitimately I saw had no shame in being like, yeah, I did all my papers with ChatGPT. And I'm
Right.
like, dude, I would have been kicked out of college if somebody found out I was
Yeah.
doing
But
like it's,
you're not even like writing the paper. You're just,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like,
if I was a teacher and like, half the kids in my class had the same paper pretty much from Chat GPT, like, okay, well, you all fail because you can't write a paper.
yeah, it's like, and I've seen teachers talk about that, like they don't know what to do because almost the entire class. I'm not saying every single class and every single student does this. I'm saying that the examples
Right.
that I've seen, right, of teachers saying that almost everybody in their class used some kind of AI to write the paper that they told them to write, and so therefore they had to have them do something else that was even worse. And then the grade was even worse because they had no way of, they didn't know how to write it because they're so used to writing everything with Chat
Like,
GPT or whatever.
if you
Uh,
wash my car, I'll give you a C.
yeah, it's like, I mean, that's the sad thing is, it's why people don't learn to spell, because you can just
Right.
literally put the word in Google and it spells it for
I'll
you.
admit I'm bad. I'm pretty bad about spelling and some grammar, but like
Yeah.
I can at least like write a paper or no.
No, I agree. I mean, look, ever since we had what was it, spell check,
Right.
we've erroneously gotten worse at knowing how to spell things because we're automatically, it already tells. I mean, if you have Grammarly installed, it automatically does the thing where it like will correct your stuff for you. So it, like,
Right.
you don't really learn where the comma needs to go or whatever because it automatically tells you. Um, that's just convenience, that's like the least of the issues, I would say. It's more of just this kind of stuff is scary, and like I said, I've seen it in my job, I've seen it in other jobs. You and to get on the phone calling Xfinity or Comcast to get an
Yeah.
actual person on the phone is, oh my god, it is frustrating sometimes.
Oh yeah.
uh, I have to go the route almost where I have to say I'm going to cancel before I get somebody on the phone, and it's like annoying.
Like
Or you have to go through that stupid chat thing and then tell it that no, I still want to talk to a person, and then they
right.
call you. And
I had a problem a few months ago with Comcast. I couldn't like pay my bill online,
yeah,
and their suggestions were either like basically call us, and I'm like, I'll just go to the office, or go to my like local Comcast.
right,
It's like
exactly.
at least I can talk to someone there.
Yeah, but all right, I don't want to go too much further off topic here, but I mean, yeah, I would imagine that by the time we get to the end of the year, this number here for the generative AI thing on Steam is going to be way bigger.
Right, and then we'll
Um,
have
yeah,
a million different clones. There's already clones of games already, but a million
yeah.
other clones of
I
Flappy
mean,
Bird.
what did we say that time that we were all kind of like? Well, it was me and Randy that we were like hooked on that supermarket simulator game,
Right.
and on the PlayStation Store they had the wrong version or like one of those copy versions on there,
Yeah.
and they were making money off of people thinking that it was that same game on the PlayStation Store. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. And Nintendo recently, had to do that thing with where they changed rules in Japan so they can try to stop getting as many hentai games
Right.
on the store. And Steam did it as well because uh the payment processors
Yeah.
got involved and said, "Yo, we don't want to be represented by a store that allows for people to buy sexually explicit games that are, beyond the pale. We're not talking about hentai. We're talking about people that, you know, basically like rape games and
Right.
things like that. You know,
I don't know. I'm kind of of two minds about that. Like on the surface, it's bad, but it could be a outlet for that type of desire. And also,
yeah,
like the people that were like championing this shit were like, "Oh, we want Detroit Become Human taken off because it features child abuse," and it's like, "Yo, you're not abusing the child. Like, you're trying to
yeah,
stop that." Like,
yeah.
so
But then you're sitting there in that corner of the internet playing all those weird ass games that essentially do something similar. So it's like
right.
I wouldn't open my mouth to, you know, you're just hating on this game because of, you know, look, I understand the studio didn't have a great past and David Cage doesn't
Well, they didn't
either,
even like mention
but
that. They were just like,
yeah,
"Oh, it features child abuse," and it's like, I mean, yeah, but
yeah,
no.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm of that whole like, look, I don't believe in censorship either, or whatever. You know, you do what you want to do.
and, and also, like,
Uh,
if the person
yeah,
is over 18 and they obviously have a credit card, like,
but you know, look, these people are the ones I get. I get Valve. Like, you got to do it right, because if you don't, if all of a sudden, you know, all these card companies say that we're just not going to let you buy anything on Steam, then that affects them, right?
believe me,
Like,
it. I in that tug of war, I think Steam would still win because if they said like, "Oh, Visa is not allowing us to, not allowing you to uh, buy, you know, Hentai Simulator 14 off Steam," and Valve was like, "Okay, we're not going to allow Visa cards on Steam." Period. The next day, Visa would back the hell down.
I don't think so though, because like what would end up happening is, okay, we're not going to allow that, but then it's like people would get pissed at Valve because now I can't buy
No, people
Assassin's
get
Creed, you
yeah,
know,
people no
because
people get pissed at it's the same thing that happens with like carriage fees with cable. Like DirecTV, if they can't, they're always like, oh, Fox News or Fox is trying to increase their profits on us. They always back the hell down. And it's the
yeah,
same thing with like with
but then they
Valve.
end up making the deal. They end up making the stupid deal. They always say that, and then they end up making the deal with the company. So it's
Right.
like, you know, that's my issue. Is like,
I mean,
I kind
I
of,
could see
yeah.
I could see Valve going like, we won't promote, you know,
Well, they took them
hentai.
off. They took the games off completely.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's Valve backing down. I would have not done that, and I would have said, "Hey, we're not going to promote this shit." But if people still want to find it and buy it, or design like a more serious age gate,
yeah, that too. You could do that. Do the thing with like the with the
with like what a Pornhub or whatever it
yeah, where you have to show your
is.
ID and
Yeah,
all that.
which I don't really agree with either. But I like, this was many years ago when my Blizzard account got hacked. I'd like email a copy of my ID into Blizzard, which is like crazy on the face of it, but
Right.
like that was the only way I could get my account back.
Yeah, I remember having to do something similar because of the authenticator thing,
Right.
locking me out, and they wouldn't believe that it was me. And I was like, "Look, I'm all for you protecting me and everything, but I'm legitimately me. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah, it's
me."
like
Like,
I know the email, I know the password. I can tell you the last 20 things I bought or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. But no, it just sometimes that happens. Really quick, the Chinese room was able to go independent. Of course, they're the people that make
it,
the Still Wakes the Deep,
it should be called the
and
independent room now.
I mean, they're also working on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 with Paradox.
Right.
Uh, and they've
That'll never get
also,
that'll never come out.
yeah, well, see if that's coming on. I don't know if that means they're going to make a Still Wakes the Deep 2 or whatever else they're making, but hey, good on them. Get out of
Yeah.
being tied down to Sumo and Tencent and all that, and do your own thing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of making changes, remember when we talked about, like, feels like forever ago now, that Ubisoft was going to make that subsidiary where they were only going to have Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and the Rainbow Six Siege franchises.
Yeah.
It's finally happened, Mark, all these months later.
Yep.
And Tencent has, backed them like they said they would with their money. That was part of the deal, that they had to take those big three franchises and put them separate in order to get money from Tencent. The thing is that Tencent, and I don't know how much, Yves Guillemot and the rest of the people had with, who's the board and whoever else, and naming the co-CEOs. One of them is the son of Yves Guillemot, Charlie Guillemot.
Yep.
Of course, a bunch of nepotism cries already with this. And then a 35-year company veteran in Christophe Durand, who's, he used to head up a Montreal studio and all that. So, I don't know. What do you make of this? Do you basically, what do you think happens to the half of Ubisoft that doesn't have those three franchises? And yeah.
The other half of Ubisoft withers and dies.
I mean,
Because
it's not like they took off everything from there. They did announce that apparently there's going to be new Ghost Recon, which does go to that half of Ubisoft.
They can't even get Splinter Cell off the ground.
And Splinter Cell is technically on that
Yeah,
side.
but like, okay, they took basically, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they took Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, which I don't think Far Cry is healthy right now.
Well, Rainbow Six Siege is, like, without that, I don't know if they have anything, because that's the thing that's, like, continuously giving them money. But yeah,
that's like their one actual like profitable live.
I think the other ones are profitable, but they're not like cash cow profitable. They're like okay profitable,
right? Like
For Honor, and, Trackmania is doing okay. And,
well, that was never. I would never say that's like live service, because you're not like paying for extra shit.
The Crew, whatever you're doing with that, and
well, whatever. What was that one? Not X Defiant, but because I already died.
Well, that other Tom Clancy game, the Extraction, that died too.
That I don't know if that's still going around. Damn it! I like the first one.
Division.
The Division.
That's also on that end as well.
Right. But yeah, like they're not making a new like Rabbids game or like a new Rayman.
Well, and then the new Rayman is on that end as well. Prince of Persia is also still on this side as well.
Yeah.
Whenever that remake.
You're listing a bunch of stuff that's like not coming out, or So, like, between the two of one side has Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and like Tom Clancy kind of, and the other side has Rayman and Prince of Persia, and say, okay, which would you want to be at?
Well, no, definitely you want to be on the other side, because Assassin's Creed is like the only thing that they make right now that, like, for sure it comes out and it does well, and
right.
Even Far Cry took a hit for a while, so
I don't see a new Far Cry game hitting anytime soon. Like that last game,
they're supposedly working on Far Cry 7.
Set in Midgar?
Oh my God. Supposedly they were trying to make like big changes to it or whatever to try to like mess with the formula.
It'll be an even stupider story than the last 4. And like, see, I like I said, I think that part of Ubisoft, like the not Assassin's Creed part, is done. And then also, like, you can't, Yves Guillemot can't sit there with a straight face and say like, oh, nepotism, the guy with also my last name heading up this new division, he got there on his own merits. He started in the mailroom and worked his way up from his bootstraps.
Yeah, it's not great. Let's be honest.
Right.
It's not a great look. I understand that he kind of did the like Shane McMahon thing of
Yeah.
I went and did some stuff. Is any of that stuff really like notable? Not really.
Yeah, it's like
but I did
Shane,
stuff.
yeah, Shane left for like 15 years, and so what happened? What did he do? He started a satellite company in China, kind of, and that was about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really do anything like in the business, or that's like like you said, like worthwhile or notable. So this guy running a taco truck for the last 10 years, and then suddenly promoted to co-CEO.
Co-CEO.
Yeah, division. It's like, I'm sure he really got there on his own merit.
Yeah, but this is all. It was just a ploy so that Ubisoft stay within the Guillemot family. Like we all knew that. Look, whether this winds up being a great investment for Tencent, we'll have to wait and see because Shadows doesn't count.
I mean,
towards that.
It's the same.
So
it's kind of the same thing as like Walmart. That used to be a family company, but hey, when it gets to a certain part, the family gets out of it. They still get their money. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's not like there hasn't been a I forget the name.
Walton.
Walton's. Yeah, Walton's running that company for the past decade.
She the daughter's there. She's got the money, but she's not running.
Right. Yeah, they have a
Walmart.
CEO and a chairman who are different people. So, yeah.
Look, I get it. He likes to have his control. That's how it is. Whatever.
But I mean, I look at it as like the same way that like I think he did it better, but like Vince McMahon, ran WWE for quite a while, and he made a lot of good hits, but near the end, it was flagging behind.
Right. And everybody's kind of like up in the air about whether obviously they're doing great business wise, and obviously having the TKO money and all that stuff. But if Triple H is really doing all the things that people are kind of making it out to be, I don't really watch it that much anymore, so I can't really comment too much on it. But
don't worry. Once Ubisoft puts out Beyond Good and Evil 2, everything will turn right around.
Exactly. So I wonder what that is. That finally gonna go one way or the other here with that? Like it's
gonna end. Or they're finally gonna flush it.
It's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, he also, Yves also took the time to talk there with shareholders, and he talked about Star Wars Outlaws, and he kind of blamed Star Wars being in a bad spot as to why the game didn't sell. And he did talk about the game having issues as well. But I don't know. It's kind of weird when, you got Battlefront 2, like, making all this noise right now. And then, the TV series are still going on. Andor season 2 was well received again and whatnot. It's like sometimes you might just, that game had issues, right? Which kind of soured people on the game.
My big question would be how much of the story beats were Lucas or Disney mandated, and then how much did you put into it? Because the game had technical problems. I wouldn't say that wasn't a factor, but I didn't like that game as much because I thought the main character sucked ass, and the story was terrible. So, did you create this character, or did Disney create it? And if you created it, then it's your mess.
Well, I mean, obviously, Disney had to okay the character,
right? Yeah, but that's different from Disney, going like, we want this character to be this way, or really forcing a character into the game, which that could have happened, but I don't see that happening with Jedi Fallen Order. Like, people like that guy, so what changed?
Yeah. I mean
I
that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I mean, I think he is kind of partially right. Like Star Wars isn't exactly in a healthy spot right now. Like, yeah, you mentioned Andor doing well, but that's it. Like, all the other Star Wars TV shows are either ending or, The Mandalorian's done or got abruptly canceled.
Right.
And then the movies are a disaster. And, like, it's funny, me and Jens always argue about, like, which is a healthier franchise, Star Wars or Star Trek. And he always says Star Wars. And his rationale for Star Wars is like, oh, the pen and paper RPG is so, you can do so much with it, or it's so creative. I'm like, that's not a goddamn metric for a franchise health. Like,
Yeah, no, it's not.
because the TTRPG is, you can do so much with it. Because I always think that Star Wars is very creatively small and like limiting. And whenever they try to do something,
well, and then also
like
Disney is just very limiting with it, right? Like they're
right.
very.
I mean, they've cranked out a lot more Star Wars than Lucas did, but like, yeah, so much of it is like in the same narrow 80-year window, and like the one time they tried to go outside of it with the Acolyte, I think that's what it was. Like, no one liked it at all.
Well, some people did, and they were very kind of loud about how they were not happy about it being canceled. But then it was a very small minority.
And also, like, the problem with Star Wars is, like, it costs a bunch. Like,
right?
Well, about Star Trek, at least it's cheaper. Like, they're not spending $200 million in a season of shows. Like, that's like crazy.
No, you're not wrong there. It's true. It costs a lot.
So
and then,
I was gonna say, like, yeah, like, I don't agree with them totally, but yeah, I wouldn't say like. I mean, like, if they announce like a new Star Wars game tomorrow, people are just gonna be like, eh.
But I mean, it's like he says though, like the version that's coming to the Switch 2 is the one that's been fixed, like the one that is the best version of that game. Like, imagine if the game would have been that way from the beginning, and it would have got better press and.
Oh, so they replaced the main character. Okay, cool.
I mean,
I'll give
whatever
that one a shot.
with the main character, but like, I think it was a gameplay perspective. There was issues with that game, and like that causes people not to want to buy it. Also, not to mention you were promoting your subscription service like crazy, so people just said, okay, well, I'll pay that $17, play this game, and then I'm not going to buy it because it sucks. Or not that it sucks, but it's not worth me spending $60-$70 on it.
Or they finish it within a month and they're like, all right, exactly. I'm done with this.
They don't need to. They don't need to go back to it. And the last thing on this is that they did get the Assassin's Creed Netflix show greenlit. It's going to be produced and run by Emmy nominees Robert Patino of Westworld, Sons of Anarchy, and David Weiner. I don't know about the Halo show being a credit, but The Killing. Also,
not good answer.
they did mention that it's going to be like a little bit of everything, apparently. So, yeah. What do you, as the Assassin's Creed fan in here?
I don't think it's going to happen. B, if it does happen, it's going to be bad, and I'll explain why. Because Assassin's Creed should be a historical drama. Like, an ideal Assassin's Creed show should be like 5 years and have every season be a different game. Like, have an overarching, like, present day storyline with Desmond, or if they want to create a new character, that's fine.
Right.
But like, have season 1 be Altair, season 2 be Ezio, season 3 be, Connor, or one of the other, whoever. But have it take place in different settings, different locations, and then have like the present day overarching, like, have that stuff kind of move here and there. But a given episode should be like 85% in the past or in the Animus, and only 10 or 15% in the present day. And they won't do that.
And I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that it's taken them like 5 years to get because they announced this a while ago. It's not like it's like, oh, we just got on this bandwagon now, and it's like, what? Like, you guys took.
I wonder if they just don't want to have anything to do with the actual games directly, because then you're gonna have to use kind of like the similar thing of like what goes on with like The Last of Us, right? Where a lot of people had an issue with season 2, how
I
it
mean,
deviated from the games.
yeah, but
Yeah.
also like people like the character, people like the characters of some Assassin's Creed games.
Right.
And if you wanted to, you could create like a whole new thing, but I still think the present day to past historical dramas thing should be like lopsided in the historical drama thing. That was a problem with that movie, is it was like way skewed in the other direction, and that's why it was terrible. And I think like Assassin's Creed, like they've mentioned there are other teams and other people doing this crap. So yeah, create a whole new character or whole new characters, or have like Easter eggs, or even occasionally have like, I think like the people, like they modeled some of the characters from Assassin's Creed on like real people, like real actors. Like I don't think they're gonna get Kristen Bell, but they could get some other people.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll happen, and if it does, it'll be bad.
Well, I
It's
hope
just
not.
unfortunate.
I hate seeing video game adaptations be bad.
I mean,
see them to be good.
me and Jens have been joking a lot about that Tomb Raider Amazon show, and how like whatever Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I think is her name, how she basically stole $100 million from Amazon.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's all for it, and he was like, "Yeah, I get it." And I'm just like, "What a waste!" Like, you
I
wouldn't.
wonder if we're gonna ever see the God of War Amazon show.
I have more faith in Ronald Moore, let's say that, than anyone else doing this crap. Maybe, but like, I think for that one specifically, you'd have to pick like a specific game and just kind of go for it. Like, do they do the old stuff or the new stuff, or what do they do? But
I think they definitely need to have a plan similar to Fallout, like where it's like, okay, this is written out for multiple seasons, and you're gonna have a timeline of, okay, we're gonna start with the Greek, and then we eventually go into the Norse, and then whatever other realm they go into with the game. They're I still think they're not done with God of War. I mean, maybe Core Balog might be done with it, but they're somebody's gonna keep. I mean, he said he handed the reins off to whoever did a lot of Ragnarok. And that's going to continue, whether it's Norse or some other. There's been rumors about Egyptian or something else.
Yeah,
so
it'll be Inca.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we'll see. Assassin's Creed, it is built to be a series if they do it well. I mean, they got a lot to go on, so we'll see.
Or do something completely different, like that could work also. Like Fallout is not.
I meant like there's a lot of history there. You could they could literally make it like the time travel show of the week. They could have they could whatever.
That's the biggest problem with the game right now. It's completely lost the present day plot line, and they kind of keep stopping and starting that thing. But like the last Shadows didn't have it at all. And it's like, what happened?
We'll see if they do any more of it with Hexy or whatever. That's the next one, supposedly. So, all right. The last thing here is the N64 Analog is delayed again.
Yep.
This time they're blaming the tariffs as the reason why it's been delayed.
That's a lie.
It's not going to be shipping in late August 2025, supposedly.
Yep.
Did you order this or?
No, I didn't. I got the last from the Analogue Duo, the TurboGrafx one. I specifically didn't order this. I don't trust them as a company. Like, as a hardware maker, they're great. The Pocket was amazing. The Duo is fine. I like all their other crap. But this thing has been announced for at least a year, I think. And they took pre-orders in January. They don't have a trailer for this thing out.
Wow.
Like, they have like a website, and it's like a 3D mock-up, and this whole like big thing about like, oh, it's gonna be 4K, and And it's like,
And
why
that's
don't you have
the
it?
big part of it, right? Is that you can plug it into a 4K TV and it's going to run all those 64 games.
Right, yeah. But they haven't even shown a trailer of this thing working. And if this thing is due out next, it's supposed to be due out this month. That is gone. It's supposed to be due out next month. It's like, don't you have one? And like in the company somewhere? Like,
yeah.
Why can't you just show this thing actually like working? And they don't, and they haven't. And like if they restock, if it comes out and it's great and they restock it, I'll probably get one. But I just really hate how Analogue does business, and a lot of other people do too.
Yeah, I imagine that this is not sitting well with anyone.
Yeah, like I had a friend online asking about this a few weeks ago, and he was like, "Was it a dream?" And I'm like, "No, but it's a fantasy." Like, because they still haven't shown. Like, it wouldn't be hard to just launch a webcam stream, like a Twitch stream, and go, "Hey, here are 20 games, Mario and GoldenEye and Mario Kart 64. Here's this thing in action," and it'd be like an hour-long thing.
Fair enough, agreed. Yeah, hopefully they get that fixed and it does come and it works great for the people that have ordered that, and never want to see
want
those,
one. Like if it does well, sure, but I just don't have any faith.
I don't blame you. Like you said, they have this track record of not doing well with that. So
right.
All right. Anything else you want to bring up before we head out of here? All right. So that'll be it for the show this week. I guess we will end the show the way we usually always do. We're talking about the games that are coming out in this week ahead here. The King is Watching, which is like another one of these indie darlings.
That's what Adam gave me.
Okay. I was interesting. So you got that. Okay. That's not your kind of game, really? Is that like a strategy?
Yeah, it looks like tower defense though as well.
It is tower defense, but you're also kind of like setting up your, there's a strategy to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting like a lot of hype. It is one of the ones that like people are really talking about for like, oh, this might be one of those sneaky game of the year kind of things of just with all the stuff it does and whatever. Right. But yeah, Monument Valley 3 comes out for everything on the 22nd. Wildgate also comes on the 22nd for Xbox Series, PS5, and PC. That's a neat multiplayer game that has been getting some buzz as well. Wheel World, which I mentioned, is on Game Pass, and it's out on everything except Switch. On the 23rd. Switch 2 is going to get WWE 2K25 on the 23rd. So if you have, that's sold really well. So if you were waiting for the Switch 2 version, I guess there's that. And Super Mario Party Jamboree, plus the Jamboree TV thing for Switch 2 also comes out on the 24th. I know Randy's probably excited about playing that.
Chomping at the bit, yeah.
The Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers comes out on the 24th. That I already talked about. It's on Game Pass, but it's also on PS5 and PC. The No Sleep for Konami date from the AI Somnium File sequel. That's on Switch and Switch 2 on the 25th. That's probably going to be pretty decent. Most of those visual novel Somnium File games are pretty good. And also there's Wild Hearts S coming to Switch 2. So, yeah, and Wild Hearts is fine.
Yeah.
Sadly, just when you're going to compare it to Monster Hunter, it's just not going to.
Yeah, it's fine for like 2 weeks, and then one of the Monster Hunter games came out like right after.
Yeah, and it's like, well, there goes goodbye. I know. I think a lot of people are probably still going to be playing Donkey Kong, so there's that too. There's a rumor that a Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is going to be happening, maybe this upcoming week, or maybe just as long as it's before July. Supposedly, they're trying to get it before like some kind of investor thing. So we'll see if it does happen. It would make sense because we have like no release date for Metro Prime 4 Beyond and they don't really have you can't really consider Dragon Drive your big August game. I'm sorry. Like you got to have something else. So like, whether it's Metroid or something else, like that's why I think they really got to be having something in July, because they've still got some spots on the calendar they got to announce games for. We still don't know when Kirby Air Riders is coming. So the Sakurai game. So
yeah,
but yeah, and we'll see what they announce that Pokemon Presents as well. So we'll talk about that next week along with everything else. So all right, until then, everybody, thank you for watching, listening. We'll see you later.
Later.